Thanks for checking out the Abnormal Japan podcast. We're based in Tokyo, Japan from Houston, Texas. If you're curious what it's like living here, or you just want to tap in for abnormal topics from time to time, stay tuned and follow us on your favorite listening platform. Hey everyone, I'm your host Bree. Last episode we discussed New Year's in Japan versus the USA, so check it out if you missed it. And if it's your first time listening to our podcast, welcome. We cover various topics such as travel, life in Japan, true crime, LGBT, and more. As always, I'm here with my co-host.
I am the Tim Tam Slam. What up? I'm Ashish.
Hey, those Tim Tams were good though.
Yeah, so full disclaimer, I had a student who went to Australia on a foreign exchange thing, and he brought me Tim Tams back. I was like, oh.
Yes.
Fresh.
That's so sweet.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad he had the opportunity. So, yeah, I'm the Tim Tam Slam now. That's what y'all gonna call me. I'll come up with a new nickname next episode, but for today, Tim Tam Slam.
Yes. The first time I tried them was in Japan, ironically.
Really?
Yeah, I've never had them before. They're so good.
I think when we were back in Texas, somebody put me onto them, but I never tried them. Or maybe I did. I don't remember. But I remember coming here. We saw them and I was like, let's try it.
Yes. There's so many flavors. But anyways.
So many.
All right. So Spotify listeners, if you want to listen to our Japan crime files all in one playlist, check the link in the show notes description.
Yeah, we got the playlist going. You know, we got the podbean.com, the little categories. Now we got on Spotify. So, we organizing out here.
All right, so today's topic is another true crime in Japan case. But before we get into that, let's answer a listener's question.
Let's go.
So this is a segment where we answer one of y'all's questions. So, all right, Ashish, if you had to describe 2019 in 3 words, what would they be?
So is this a 3-word sentence or is it just 3 words?
I guess they mean 3 words.
Okay, so 3 words. Learning.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. For me, patience.
Okay, we'll go back and forth. Learning, patience. I was gonna say, I'll say it, unlearning.
Okay, that's a good one. For me, I would say solitude, because this year I've actually been more to myself because I've been working on so many creative projects. So yeah, 2019 was definitely
solitude. Okay,
patience, solitude.
The last one I would say is like decisions.
What's my 3rd one? Oh gosh, this is hard. Okay, what were your 3 again?
So mine was learning, unlearning, and decisions. Like I had to really come to terms with some things and like make firm choices for myself for this year. So yeah, that was mine.
So I would say patience, solitude, and acceptance. Just accepting life as it is, going with the waves, kind of cliche, but I don't know. That's kind of how I felt. If you sent this question in, thank you for sending it. If you want us to put in your names or like your username, feel free to add it to the question.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll stay anonymous. But yeah, if you want to send one in the future, send one to abnormaljapan.com/questions. You can send it anytime and we'll cover it.
Yeah, keep them coming. These are actually really fun.
If you missed out on the previous one of our Japan Crime File series, check out the case of Fusaku Sano, the Niigata girl held captive for 9 years.
Yeah.
That was a wild case. It
was rough. Like, I know that I'm kind of weak when it comes to the true crime stuff, but like that one, it hit, Sometimes the true crime is like a little creepy, but this one was just sad.
Yeah, it really was. All right, so before we get started though, content warning, this discussion does contain mentions of suicide and death. This episode is not advised for minors, and if crime topics make you uncomfortable, this is not for you. So check out our other episodes about life in Japan if that's your cup of tea. As we cover this case, please note that we are only referencing resource material and we're not making any claims. Our opinions are just that, opinions, and anything referenced is to be taken allegedly and not as fact. All links to resource material will be in the show notes.
All right.
We're going to dive into Japan Crime Files number 3 in this episode. This one consists of 2 murder cases involving poisoning drinks and they both contain a bit of mystery till this day.
Deadly drinks, huh?
Yeah, so feel free to comment on your theories on what you may feel what happened.
All right. Now, deadly drinks is very like scary because there's so many things. Like, disclaimer, Japan has a lot of drinks available all the time. There's vending machines, convenience stores. Like, if you thirsty, there is probably a place for you to buy a drink. Not as many water fountains though. That's something I've noticed.
Yeah, they're usually like at parks.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. Part 1, Pesticide Milk Murders. This case took place in Shizuoka town in Saitama Prefecture, which is part of the Kanto region. For reference, its location is about 40 kilometers or about 24 miles from downtown Tokyo. This area is known as an agricultural community, but has become more so of a commuter town for people who work in areas like Saitama City and the Tokyo metropolis. Seems like a pretty quiet suburb area. But like we always mention, crime can lurk within all corners of Japan.
And I know like people want to talk about cities have a lot of crime, but you know, to be fair, like suburbs have a lot of crime too. Like people will do stuff, or like people won't say things that are going on, you know? So like, I don't know. Quiet areas can sometimes be like really deadly.
Yeah, there's a lot of secrets in suburbs.
Facts.
All right, let's go back in time to August 11th, 1960.
Okay.
Where 3 victims, a 31-year-old father, his 4-year-old son, and 2-year-old daughter died from drinking milk that contained a deadly pesticide. The story begins with a Morinaga milk delivery, a very popular milk brand here in Japan, taking its usual route of Shinjuku, Tokyo, and making its way to the family town of Shizuoka. A young boy delivered the milk to the family's neighborhood and to their own house around 6 p.m. in the evening. The boy didn't notice anything out of the norm. But how did the milk get contaminated? Well, on this day, the father, Mr. A, came from working at a J&R factory, a railway company, around 8 p.m.
Okay.
His wife was resting in a separate room because she just had delivered their second son the day before. So she was pretty tired.
Yeah.
And his other 2 children, his son and daughter, were asking him if they could have a drink of the milk that was delivered earlier that evening. Mr. A gave them a cup of fresh milk, or so he thought. The son mentioned how it tasted bitter. So the father took a sip to see what his son was talking about. He then decided to wash out the milk and glass bottle in the kitchen, you know, just for safety.
Right.
Not much longer from that, he started feeling body discomfort and a scratchy throat. His children, who also drank the milk, were suffering as well. He became so sick from the milk that he began to crawl to his neighbor's house. Their neighbor also worked at the same factory. And he struggled to them, saying, "Hey, I need a doctor. Give me a doctor." The neighbor noticed the 3 family members suffering and asked around for help from a nearby clinic.
Okay.
So a doctor did arrive 5 minutes later, but the 2 children, unfortunately died before they came. And then 10 minutes after that, the father died as well.
Dang.
So it seems like it was a timing issue, and the pesticide was probably hardcore concentrated.
Yeah. Like, I have questions. First of all, I'm glad that the doctor was able to get there like that quickly. But also, like, I don't know. When I lived in India, we would get milk deliveries, but like everybody would boil the milk like anyway. So I'm curious, did they boil the milk? Did that like activate something?
I'm
was
not
it
sure.
Cool?
Yeah, like was it refrigerated?
Right.
Something? Because like if they delivered it at 6 and he came home at 8, like what was the milk situation?
Right. And I am glad the doctor came that quick, I will say. Like,
yeah, but a little too late.
Yeah.
All right, so Mrs. A, the wife and mother, told the doctor about the bitter milk. She was like, "Hey, right before they passed, they said the milk was bitter. It must be the milk. An investigator noticed that since the father washed the milk bottles, the fingerprints were also washed away.
Dang.
So that affected the investigation. The neighbor's wife, Mrs. H, mentioned how the mom was yelling at Mr. A at the supermarket about the prices of the produce. So she kind of came at the wife for suspicion at first. She was like, hey, you know, she was arguing with him. Maybe she was mad at him. You know, the whole spouse killing their spouse situation. But then she also mentioned, I guess just to stir up the drama, she was like, when Mr. A and Mrs. A built the house, they kept telling the carpenter that they were so noisy and that they should keep it down.
Right.
Well, the carpenter became neurosis and committed suicide.
Oh my God.
But they say, like, what Mrs. H said was that the incident was due to the carpenter's spirit. So she was like, oh, it wasn't really them, but, you know, the carpenter kind of seemed like they were kind of off. That was kind of a weird statement, not gonna lie, because was the family like bullies?
I don't know. I didn't mean to laugh at that. It was just kind of a shock. I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened there. I guess she was just trying to point that like the family has some issues and the deaths probably came from something in the house.
That's fair. And also, like, you know, there's always those neighborhood people that just like to say stuff. They don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah. So she went with painting the family in a bad light. And that therefore this is how they got poisoned. You know, oh, they're bullies. Oh, they argue a lot. Well, the investigator claimed that this was ignorant gossip and mentioned how a nearby witness saw that Mrs. H, the neighbor, was standing in front of Mr. A at the time of the incident and was staring into the house. So,
whoa,
who do you think did it? Like, was it the wife, Mrs. A? Was it the delivery boy? Was it just bad milk?
Was it Mrs. H?
Was it Mrs. H?
I don't know. That's kind of weird. Okay, so who do I think did it? Now, there were spoilers. You did say it was pesticide.
Yeah.
So, man, I don't know though. Like, I don't think it was the delivery boy. That kid was probably just doing his job, you know, trying to get his little coin, trying to get his honey yens or whatever. I don't know what they pay him back in the 60s. I don't know if it was bad milk. It could have been, but I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like there's a lot of he said, she said. So it's kind of complicated because if someone did see Mrs. H just standing there, it's like, so did he even crawl?
That's a good
You know,
question.
because think about it. If it's in the neighborhood, would you really crawl all the way over to your neighbor's house? That's the thing that kind of got me like, this sounds a little weird.
That sounds like the move of a desperate man.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
but I don't know. I don't think it was Miss A. I'm on Miss H. It's her. I think she did it.
All right. Let's see.
All right.
No other houses were affected from the poisoning. So clearly this was targeted. An autopsy was done on the son, daughter, and father, and they found out that toxic poisoning, a dangerous pesticide, is what they concluded happened, like what they drank. They didn't specify on the pesticide, but they were saying this was really toxic.
Okay.
So almost a month later, after the family died, minus the wife and her newborn son, on September 4th, while Mrs. H was preparing breakfast, the investigator asked her to come with them. He was like, hey, we're still running this case. The very next day, Mrs. H self-admitted that she put the pesticides in the milk bottle. Reports at the time called this, quote, the violent crime by vanity woman. Now, why was it called that? We're going to find out. It was kind of a weird title.
Yeah. I just remembered when you said newborn child that the mom had another child.
Yeah, she just gave birth to a new son.
My God, the sadness.
Yeah. She lost her whole partner, her 2 kids.
I know, pre-existing kids too.
Yeah, so she's probably going through it.
Yeah, dang. But so Miss H, she self-admitted they got her. Ooh.
Yeah, she was just like, I guess you came a month later.
Dang. So violent crime by vanity woman. What's that about?
All right. So Mrs. H, and sorry for these names, this is literally what they called the people in this case. But yeah, so Mrs. H envied the rich of the A family. Like they were rich, they were wealthy.
Oh, okay.
And therefore she wanted to poison them. She was just jealous,
What?
I guess.
Oh.
But she did have to leave her family and her 2 daughters and her husband. And was held in a prison cell. I'm assuming she went to prison. They said she was just held in a cell, but she went to prison.
Right.
But she was pregnant as well at the time.
Dang. Oh my goodness. Okay. Layers on layers.
So during her time in prison, she tried committing suicide a few times.
Ooh.
She just was not having it. I don't know. I feel like she was going through a lot. I mean, she just did something very bad. She's pregnant. She's away from her family.
Right.
She's in prison. So she was going through it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So she was transferred often from maternity hospital and back to the prison, like back and forth. It was unclear if she lost her child. She was eventually treated at Saitama Central Hospital and later moved to another area of Saitama, Urawa. So she did her time, I'm assuming.
Right.
I'm not too sure how long. This is an old case. But she was able to go to the hospital and then she moved somewhere else. But since then, various poisonous incidents such as wine, cola, vending machine juice, curry even, have occurred. And there are other incidents of mixing chemicals into bottles in the history of Japan crime. So I feel like this is not something that's new. It's just another type.
That's really interesting because pesticides have a long history of violence in Asia, like especially in like agricultural areas. Like people will poison each other with Raid or whatever. Like it's wild. Dang. So this lady, I thought this was gonna be like a milk poisoning incident and like one person died. This is like a whole, like this is a Shakespeare tragedy.
I did, like while I was looking up different true crime, this one kind of stuck out to me because I haven't really seen many people cover it, but I did see a lot of people cover a milk crime literally like I think 5 years before this.
Oh dang.
And it was like poisoned milk, but like it affected a lot of infants.
Ooh.
So I didn't want to get into that one, but it seems like poisoning milk was a thing.
Dang.
You know?
That's wild. It's wild how these like there's like almost trends of true crime. I hate saying it like that, but there's like the milks, there's like the serial killers, there's like the robbers. Man.
Yeah. And so I guess they called her a vanity woman because like she was jealous and I don't know. It was kind of a bad title, I would say. I think they were just trying to get, people to buy the newspapers.
Yeah, I think they might have been pushing it. She did say she was jealous though. Yeah. So maybe that's the angle they went with, I guess.
But yeah, so a quick addition though. So that was in the 60s. Okay. But in 2002, in the same town.
Oh boy.
Right, Shiraoka, one of the daughters of Mrs. H, the one who committed the crime.
Right.
Yeah. They were 2 years old at the time when her mother did the milk crime.
Okay.
Well, she also tried poisoning someone with pesticide milk when she was 44 years old. Her target seems to have been her mother-in-law's sister, who was 67 at the time. Don't quote me on that. The translation was rough. But essentially, her victim did not lose her life since the pesticides were different. So like the leveling and also probably the strength.
Okay.
She says that she didn't recall what her mother did. like what Mrs. H did
Mm-mm-mm.
when she was a young girl, but many believe that she must have heard the stories about her mother's crime, and it may have motivated her to commit a similar one, kind of like a tradition crime.
Oh my God, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of weird though. Like you do something and then your child does like the same thing. Like, I don't know. There's something
And
there.
in the same town, I feel like the people in this town are weary of milk. Like,
Oh, for sure. I would be too. I'd be like, I'm just switching to soy milk. Almond milk all the way. Like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
Or just don't buy crops anymore. Just buy strictly meat. No more pesticides. I'm not contributing to the industry.
I do know, like, in the 60s, pesticides were, like, pretty big deal. They were affecting a lot of parts of the world at this time. And I know people were trying to advocate, like, hey, pesticides are bad. Like, don't use them. Like, it's dangerous. They're being weaponized. So
I think pesticides have come a long way. They're still not the best thing in the world, but like I'm pretty sure when they first started, they were like some toxic, nasty, like just kill everything kind of pesticides.
I feel like they're still pretty bad, but it's like more subtle
and
like a slow kill versus like
just straight up earth cancer.
Yeah. So
Man.
I thought it was weird that like the daughter of Mrs. H did the same thing. I don't think she didn't know. I feel like she may have, but she was 2, so I don't know.
But I mean, you might hear stories, and the mom did get out,
and she went somewhere else. So I don't think
did
she grew up
leave
with her mom.
Family. That's interesting.
Yeah, because the daughter stayed with the husband.
That's true. Okay. One thing I've noticed in a lot of these true crime files is that like when it comes to reports, Japan does a lot to protect the like privacy of everybody involved. So I do kind of respect that, but it also does it also makes like the files and the cases so mysterious.
Yeah,
I'm over here like, oh my God, like I want to know more.
So yeah, I'm not sure if the daughter knew anything, like if she was trying to do this as a tradition. I have an inkling that she may have. I do think, okay, so I kind of want to go back a little bit and how the families were both involved with the same company. So I feel like the wives weren't in the factory, but their husbands were. So I wonder if there was like some prehistory, like maybe they knew each other before working there. You know, maybe they had some drama, you know.
And this is also like, post-war Japan, so it's like a lot of reconstructions going on, and if you're in the small town, clearly they didn't leave the town, so
so I will say like this kind of made me feel weird because like recently I had a bad milk incident.
Oh no, I remember this.
Yeah, so I think it was like I want to say like a few weeks ago or something, and I like this like milk tea. It's like Earl Grey with milk in it, whatever. And I try not to drink these because milk is not really good for me. It's not really good for a lot of people, but I don't know. I really liked it. And I remember that day we were shopping and I was kind of like frustrated at something. And I was trying to rush to pick a drink. I was like, oh, whatever. Let me just pick that one. And like, I only took like a couple of sips. And I think you finished the rest of it.
Yeah, I think you had like less than half. And I was like, I don't want this that much. Yeah.
But then like the next few days, I was going through it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to be too TMI. But I had food poisoning.
Yeah.
And then literally a week after that, I saw an article and it was like, oh, hey, this milk tea has been recalled.
Ugh.
And I was like, are you serious? Like, that's the milk tea I had. And they were saying I had this bacteria. And I thought, like, I ate something else that was bad. I didn't know it was a milk tea.
Yeah, we were kind of tripping, Si tú sabes, I also had the chorros. It was not good.
It was real, y'all. It was real. It was nasty. It was real.
But at least it wasn't pesticides.
Yes, exactly. But the thing is, I should have kept that bottle and that receipt because I would have sued them. Like,
right, but like we didn't know. It was so like inconspicuous.
It's so nasty. That freaked me out because like, I don't know, after reading this case, I'm just like, I know that's old, but I've seen other milk crimes, other milk cases.
Right.
So I'm just like, I don't know. And like the one I told you about, like the milk and the infants, that was also Morinaga milk. So I'm just like, well, I'm not going to drink
who's working
that.
at Morinaga? They need better, what is it, screening? Like,
I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know. I'm not trying to call anybody out, but it made me kind of think. And like when I had that milk tea experience, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
yeah,
I'm not gonna drink
I know
that.
they had a recall, but they still sell the same milk.
Yeah, it was up like a few days later.
Pass.
I know
Hard
it's like
pass.
all about like a batch number, but I was like, no, I don't trust it.
I'll give it at least a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, let the cows go through their thing, you know?
No, the thing is, like, my body's adverse to it now. Like, once you get, like, really sick, like, you look at it, you're just like, ooh, I don't want that. Like,
you get that association. Yeah.
Part 2, Vending Machine Paraquat Poisonings. This case is often referred to the Paraquat murders. Paraquat is a herbicide that is extremely toxic to humans and animals, and it's often banned in several countries.
Dang.
So let's find out how this all started in Japan. So according to the wiki on this case, the first poisoning and death occurred on April 30th, 1985 in Fukuyama, Hiroshima. The drink was found on top of the vending machine. So that was a little weird. Like, why did you drink that? You know?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, but I did find a New York Times article written in 1985 about one of the unlucky victims.
Okay.
So a little bit closer insight. So Haru Otsu was a typical victim. He went fishing one morning and stopped along the way for drinks at a vending machine, as one does, you know? Because Japan is filled with vending machines. Among his purchases were 2 small bottles of something called Oronamen C, a vitamin-enriched juice that is especially popular in Japan among middle-aged men.
Interesting.
Halfway through the second bottle, Mr. Otsu, 52 years old, started to feel sick. A few hours later, he was taken to the hospital near his house in Osaka. The next night, he stopped breathing.
Oh, dang. So, people just poisoning vending machine drinks?
This case is bigger than the milk one.
Okay. So we got the milk one and we got the Oroname C.
Well, no, it was just vending machine drinks. So Mr. Otsu got this one. This one was poisoned.
Oh, so it's just oh my God, it's random drinks.
Yeah, because in Japan, the vending machines have several drinks. I'm not too sure how it was in the 80s, but there's at least like 8+. And
easily.
Yeah, so and vitamin drinks are kind of popular here in Japan. They're like small little drinks. People take them like on their walks and stuff like that, you know, and there's like water and sodas and coffees.
Yeah, yogurt flavor water, orange flavor water, sodas.
Yeah.
Like little Powerade type drinks.
Yeah, so after this, across Japan, more murders occurred between September 11th and November 17th, leaving 12 killed and about 35 other victims seriously ill. Often victims were men who, like Mr. Otsu, swallowed vitamin-supplemented beverages. The lethal drinks had been deliberately put into or near the vending machines. So, for example, the tainted drinks were placed inside the vending machines' dispenser slots. Victims apparently inserted their coins and found 2 bottles in the dispenser and assumed they got lucky and gave no thought to possible danger.
See, that makes sense. I would think I was lucky too.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'd be like, was that in there? Because I don't know. I wouldn't play around with it, but I guess you wouldn't know which one you like clicked for and then which one was already there.
Honestly, I'm gonna start, if I do vending machines, I'm gonna check to see if there's anything down there first.
Yeah. So soft drink companies were not willing to reveal figures at the time, but rather mentioned that their sales did not noticeably decline. Redesigning soda bottles was not their next step either to prevent from future tampering. So around this time, if I can remember, Tylenol bottles in the US were getting tampered, and so they changed the lids so that like child-proofing them.
Yeah.
So they were like, no, we're not going to do anything like that.
Yeah, and Tylenol is, if you know, Tylenol is pretty bad for like if you just can pop it open.
Yeah. It's like a pain reliever, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in fact, companies blamed the victims for having been careless. They noted that a seal must first be broken at the base of the bottle cap. They said, quote, if only consumers were more cautious, they would have seen that some tampering had been done.
Okay.
This was a spokesman for the Japan Soft Drinks Bottlers Association. So he was like, that's not our fault.
Dang, that's cold.
I know. So 1.3 million stickers were pasted onto machines, warning customers to be careful and not to consume drinks found in or around the machines. After which the poisoning seemed to have stopped.
Dang.
Because I don't know if those stickers worked. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it might have made whoever was doing it more wary, but this is all over the country.
Yeah, all over Japan. The police chose not to discuss the cases, but people in the soft drink industry say they believe a few deaths were suicides, not murders. Paraquat, a common poison at the time, was used in 1,402 recorded suicide attempts in Japan the previous year this happened.
Dang.
So Japan had many thousands of small farms, and the herbicide was easily accessible for purchasing over the counter by anyone. Apparently, you just needed like your last name and money. So to this day, the culprit was never found.
Dang, this one hits home like for me personally, because like I know in India there's like a huge thing with Monsanto right now, and like what's wild is that like a lot of small farms will have their crops crossbred with the Monsanto products because air and pollination, but then what they'll do is like they claim that, oh, you're stealing our crops, but it's like, nah, bro, that's just how things pollinate. But then what they'll do is they'll find the farms, and the farms can't afford the shit, so like they'll get the pesticides, or they have to start working for Monsanto. So they'll get the pesticides and commit suicide.
Yeah, I've been hearing like more, I guess, in those situations, like you said, they can't afford to pay fees or to even start over. Right. So I mean, if that's the only way you can really get by, yeah, people attempt the saddest things.
Yeah, and I know it's getting national coverage like now, but like small farmers going bankrupt and doing that has been a common occurrence for like at least a decade.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. That's wild. I'm terrified of agriculture and vending machines now.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's a kind of a cheap shot to just be like, oh, the people did it themselves. Yeah, you know, because if they did it themselves, why would they go to a vending machine first and then go, like, you know, that doesn't make sense. I feel like someone was tampering. Right.
Clearly people have no problem doing it themselves. Like, I don't think they would go the extra step to stage something. Yeah. Like, that's whack.
Yeah. So this spurred copycat crimes.
Oh my God.
So towards the end of 1985, when this happened, someone left tainted containers of milk.
No.
Milk in
the milk
schools.
Has reappeared.
They left containers of milk in schools in the Mie Prefecture in central Japan. So that was like one little copycat crime, but I guess they were just like messing around. But the thing is, they left it by the schools. Like,
that's dangerous.
So at least one other unknown person attempted to imitate the Paraquat murders by putting lime sulfur into drinks in Tokyo.
What?
This one I couldn't find out the date for. But there were also a small number of people who attempted to poison themselves in a method imitating the murders. Like, oh no, I got by the Paraquat.
I guess some people did take the extra step to stage it. My bad. I take that back.
Yeah. I just don't think at the time that's what happened.
That's fair.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes people get fascinated with these crimes and they're just like, ooh, let me do this. And like it kind of spurs another awareness to this, you know?
Yeah, I feel like at the time people weren't staging it, but I guess after that does make sense. Like some people do that.
Yeah, so some claim that these murders may have been influenced by an attempted extortion of food companies by a band calling itself the Mystery Man with 21 Faces. For more than a year, starting in the spring of 1984, so a year before the vending machine stuff happened, this group threatened to poison targeted companies' products unless it received sizable cash payments. At one point, the extortionists went so far as to put cyanide-treated candies on the supermarket shelves. But labels warning of the poison were taped to the candy boxes. So apparently no harm was done. Like, I guess no one actually ate the candies. But so they think, oh, this happened. So maybe the same people. Who knows?
Who knows? And if the food company industry associations, whatever, are getting extorted, of course they wouldn't want to take blame for it. Like, y'all are literally dealing with a domestic food terrorist. But you want to be like, oh, well, y'all should have checked the bottles. Blah, 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 blah. What?
Yeah, so I'm not too sure if it was the candy people, but I will say there's a lot of poisonings happening. I think this needs to be taken more seriously beyond the companies.
I mean, yeah, like, do an investigation, I'm sure there's enough evidence. Like the milk bottle one, okay, he washed away the fingerprints. Makes sense. They had to do a little bit of investigation. This is like everywhere. Like, yeah. They couldn't track the what is it called? The distribution patterns to a central location.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happened throughout Japan, so it wasn't just one area. It did kill 12 people and left about 30 or so victims sick. So yeah, I feel like there was enough people to put a case to it, but they couldn't find the culprit. So I guess they just were like, oh, well. So that kind of freaks me out a little bit because, I mean, that's still old, but there's still a lot of vending machines. And I know, when we first came here, it was very exciting to, try them. Try the hot drinks, try the limited edition. And I feel like, I don't know, after hearing this, I kind of don't want to. One, for that, but two, plastic. We don't need to be buying plastic bottles all the time.
True. And this is vending machines, so I'm not sure how I feel about convenience stores. I feel like those are a little bit not regulated, but those are people stacking them every day. There's a much higher turnover rate. I feel like vending machines, sometimes you can just have a vending machine that's just sitting there and nobody sees what's going on. So you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I do see company owned vending machines.
That's true.
They turn over the drinks all the time. I guess pick a place that's more populated, not one that's in the middle of a neighborhood, because these vending machines are everywhere, y'all.
Yeah, I remember one time we were on a walk in a new part of the neighborhood and we just saw a random vending machine by an apartment place. And people, you can put a vending machine in front of your apartment place and get the revenue from it and all that good stuff, right? But yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't try oddly placed vending machines. I do think because it was summertime, so I think August, yeah. Dang. I feel like it was very opportunistic because at this time, it's very hot. Yeah. People are probably getting those vitamin drinks, The
Pocaris, the Aquarius.
Yeah, so they're probably that's a good timing,
Dang.
But yeah, that's it for the Japan crime file this time. This one wasn't too I don't want to say it wasn't too sad, but it was different. It was unique. It was about food. I don't know. There's so many crime cases in Japan that are very sad and deal with children. So I guess this one still dealt with children, but I try to give y'all something different.
I mean, it had a lot of variety. I will say, there was drama. There's mystery.
There's true.
Tension. There was some BS from some companies. It was a good mix.
The one that kind of stuck out to me when I was kind of researching this was a curry one, a curry poisoning.
Oh yeah. You told me about that, but I love curry, so I low-key don't want to hear it.
I know, but I mean, it's a pretty lengthy case, and I think it has a little bit more information. This one was pretty old, so let us know if you want to hear that, and we can cover it sometime.
For sure.
All right, so let's get into the closer convo, a segment where we have free-form conversation about anything.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring I wanted to bring a topic to the episode this time, and I found something kind of interesting on the internet. Now, I don't like when websites are like, "Oh my God, Japan's so weird," because like I think that does tend to like exaggerate certain things, and try to have Japan, what is it called, perform or like hold up this weird stereotype, and Japan plays into it a lot. I'm not saying they're not perfect, but this caught my attention because recently Airbnb had a scandal where the government was like, "Y'all can't do Airbnb," and Airbnb was
Yeah.
"Oh shoot, what do we do?" And so like that was a scramble. So the scrambling was like Airbnb in Japan trying to figure out like, where can we rent places? How can we still do this? I think they mostly figured it out, but yeah, Japan and Airbnb don't have like the best relationship right now.
True.
But there's all these inns, there's all these hotels, ryokans, like people have been doing like this business for a while. Apparently, and this is from Sora News 24. If you live anywhere in Asia, you know Sora News 24. They do like all of the weird, interesting news website site, right? They had this article that said Japan's cheapest hotel charges. Guess how much? I'm gonna give you three options.
Okay, give me options.
All right, so they charge 2,000 yen, 500 yen, 130 yen.
What was the first one?
2,000 yen. It's about $18.
I mean, you said cheap, so let's go with that one.
All right, no. It's actually 130 yen. So $1.20 for a whole room, but you have to live stream your stay while you're in there.
Wait a second, so 120 a night?
Yeah, 120 yen a night.
That's not that cheap. I've seen Airbnb like be pretty cheap, and it's like not just a room. It's like
no. Like $1.20, like 130 yen.
Oh, $1.20. I think you said 120.
No.
Oh, snap!
Like 100 yen coin. And then three brown 10 yen coins.
120 yen. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking like dollars.
Because I said dollars, my bad. So this translates to about $1.20 for a night.
That's cheap. Okay,
That's super cheap.
There we go. And you have to live stream your stay.
So they have a 24-hour live stream set up in the room, right? But basically, it's one room. It's 130 yen a night. It's in Fukuoka City. Right? And they have it all week on Fridays and weekends, but you gotta live stream your stay. Now,
I guess just you better not get naked in there.
I don't think you can actually do that. You don't have to be famous or like a YouTuber or anything like that, but basically you check into the room, right? I think it's room number 8.
So there's an audience?
You don't have to be famous, but you can be. And basically it's one room. It's a tatami room. There's tatami lights, a little closet, right? And there's a futon for you to sleep on, TV, hot water kettle, stuff like that. But the aircon that's on the ceiling is coin operated. So 100 yen for 2 hours.
This is so jank.
It is like ultra budget.
So jank. Okay, I guess if you really need a place to stay, you're like, you know what? I don't care about being live streamed. And maybe you pick a good time of the year where you don't need the aircon.
Yeah.
Wow, what?
Yeah, so first, before we get into the details of the room, right?
There's
it's
more?
a basic room. Oh, there's more. You get a tatami, you get a closet, hot water kettle, a table, a TV, and a little trash can.
Not a futon?
No, you get a futon. You get a futon.
Oh, okay, because I was like, just tatami.
Sorry, the room is tatami. You get a futon. My bad. How you feel about this?
I think for a couple hours is okay.
Okay.
Or like get all your business done before, like go somewhere, take a shower, use the restroom, change into PJs, and then just go into that room and just sleep.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
Then wake up. Don't even give any attention to that live stream. Just like.
So they have a tablet set up and it's just facing the interior of the room, right?
Oh, that's so weird.
But you don't have to worry about the toilet or the shower. Those are shared facilities down the hall. So you don't got to change or anything like that. And the video the live stream video is just video. There's no sound. That's so they can avoid copyright.
So it's just a quiet live stream?
Yeah. Just kind of watch people.
It's kind of like security cameras, but not.
Live feed, yeah.
So wait, is there an audience?
You know? I don't know, but we'll post a link in the show notes.
All right.
But yeah, you can fart, you can sing, you can play music, because there's no sound. You can be all right.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, that would be a weird rule. No farting.
But it's literally one room. So let me show you the picture. Right, that's what it looks like. That man is just sitting in the room.
That's kind of small. I would not recommend staying there longer than like half a day.
It is literally one room.
Yeah.
And so that little thing is the little camera right there. It's on a little tablet, right?
So the tablet is like on a cabinet and it's like halfway up the wall. So I feel like if you just like conveniently place your futon underneath it, they can't see you. But yeah, you're showing me a GIF right now of this guy brushing his teeth. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, check the link in the description and you can watch videos and of this room. Wild.
Yeah. Apparently it's supposed to broadcast nonstop, but the laptop did glitch out a little bit. So it's apparently a laptop. And now basically the hotel people, right? It's the least often booked room. And so they were just like, you know what? It's not that often that we get people in here anyway. Let's just make it cheap. Let's make it a gimmick and we'll get people to come.
I mean, it works. And you said broadcast, so I do think it's being put out for people to look at. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Who knows? We may even go one day. I doubt it, but
we both go in there. It's all like,
Oh my God. Yeah, I would be terrified. I'd be terrified. Why is it the least booked room?
Yeah, like did something happen?
I don't know. There's no information.
Ooh.
Also, like low key, the room looks like it would be on the set of a Grudge movie.
Yikes.
Low key. Because it's like old school, like 80s aesthetic tatami room. I'm just like, I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Yeah.
I'd just be on that live stream, like partying it up.
Man, that throws me back to when we first moved to this apartment. And we have a tatami room. And before we put any furniture in it, it just looks oddly eerie.
It
like
does.
in the dark. Yeah, so I can't imagine.
So this hotel, it's in Fukuoka. So it's not actually near us. We'd have to like go out of our way. Would you stay there?
No. Why pay money like to go all the way over there to stay in this like one little room? I feel like that's for people who are drunk and like they're like, oh man, I just need a room, or like they're low on money, or like they're a student or something, just kind of like, I just need to get this room for the night. And then maybe if they are like YouTube famous or something, they may go there and make it like a vlog.
That's fair.
Yeah, but nah, I'd pass.
Okay. You don't want to offer up hey, we're going to be on this random live stream on YouTube?
No. Sorry. I mean, unless y'all request it, then sure, I guess one day, but...
I was just curious.
Now, would y'all do it? Like, for $1.20?
Yeah, $1.20.
$1.20 and live stream. I mean, that's not that bad.
There's no sound either, so that's good.
Weird.
Definitely weird.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you have anything to add to this conversation, comment on our episode 25 Instagram post at Abnormal Japan. If you like this episode, be sure to leave us support by following Abnormal Japan on your listening platform if you haven't already. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review and star rating. It really helps us grow and gets noticed more on the podcast algorithm.
Yeah, give us a like or a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts on the episode, especially if you're listening on YouTube or a platform that allows for comments and ratings. If you're on your phone, you can do it in your app. They make it super easy, and that actually helps us grow a lot. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. By the way, videos will be posted occasionally on Thursdays on Japan time. And if you want to keep up with us, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's all at Abnormal Japan. And yeah, we appreciate everybody who tuned in. Look out for another episode this week. I had a great time. It was a good episode. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.